So I want to show you this project where we're making this attic storage space a little more functional and usable. So this might be a little bit different than your attic because it's accessible through this barn door. The challenge is there's currently no lighting. So let me flip this switch here. So you guys can see we have a subfloor, we have a ton of great storage space, and we do have one little piece of 12-2 Romex there that gives us power, but we got to add the lights and the switch. So let's jump into it and I'll show you all the tools and parts we'll be using. So each of our setups are going to be a little different. Basically I have a 24-foot long space I'm looking to add light to. So I'm going to put a light fixture every 8 foot. So 8 foot in, light fixture, another 8 foot, light fixture, and then 8 foot till the end of the wall. That's the way I'm approaching this, and I'm putting a light switch as close to that barn door as possible. And that light switch is also going to have a motion sensor built in, so hopefully you just open that barn door, motion sensor detects you, turns on light. When it doesn't detect movement, you can set that time interval to 1 minute or 5 minutes or more. So when movement stops, the lights stay on, you don't even have to turn them off, and then automatically after that time interval they turn off. That's my plan of attack, that's what I'm going with. So the other parts I'll be using is just an electrical box I'll be hanging off one of the rafters. I already have the ground pigtail installed since it's a metal box. I'll be using 3/8 inch clamps to make sure strain relief and no edges or anything that can cut the Romex as it enters light fixtures or enters the electrical box. This circuit is a 20 amp circuit, it has a 20 amp breaker at the panel. So we'll be using 12-2 Romex for the wiring on this project. Then instead of wire nuts, if you've seen any of my other electrical videos, you know I like these Wago 221 lever nuts. I pretty much use them on all my projects now. I think they're very convenient and just super handy. So I'll be using 3-wire and 2-wire lever nuts for this project. Then on the tool side, I have my drill with a 5/8 inch spade bit. You could also use an auger bit if you want to drill some holes through the rafter to run my 12-2 and help protect it in this space. I have my impact driver with a Robertson. I'll be sinking a few screws. My wire strippers by Milwaukee, they're hybrids. They're actually wire strippers and linesman's pliers or Klein's built into one. They're pretty handy, it's kind of my go-to now. Razor blade to cut open the Romex, and then a screwdriver. I use a combo screwdriver. It's an ECX #1 by Milwaukee. It has a Robertson square head and also a flat head built into one, and super handy for electrical work. So that's it from the supplies and tools needed. Let's jump in the attic and start putting this together. Starting off, I'm going to position the 2 light fixtures, sinking a screw in one end and then marking the other end because I do need to drill a new hole to line up with the studs in this wall. Then I'll use my torpedo level to make sure it's level and secure that second screw. I'll do the same thing downstream here at the second light fixture, drilling that second hole through the housing, and then sinking a screw to secure it to 2 studs. Then I'll put the electrical box that I'm going to use for the motion detecting light switch. And this is positioned so when I open the barn door, it will detect movement. Now before starting the wiring, I'm going to confirm with my non-contact voltage tester that the Romex is not live. It's always good to note that you should test on a live source like I did, confirming the voltage tester works, and then test on the Romex within question. So I'll take that 12-2 into the first light fixture, and then with my drill and a 5/8 inch spade bit, I'm going to go ahead and drill some holes through the middle of these rafters, which will help me with the routing of the Romex. Now, as you saw, we're not just using 12-2, so this is actually going to be 12-3 going through the middle section here, and that's going to provide us an additional hot that's going to pass back the switched power from the light switch to the second light fixture. And I'm just getting my length. I'm passing it through the 3/8 of an inch clamps on the side of the lighting housing, getting everything to the length I want, and then running 12/2 from the light switch into that light fixture. I'll pass that back, cut everything to length, and then that will do it for the wiring. I'll just tighten down the clamps, get everything in place, and then we'll start moving on to making all the connections at each of the lighting housings and then the light switch itself. So now we're at the first light fixture, the furthest away from the entrance to the space or the barn door. We have power coming in, which is our 12/2 Romex right here. And then we have our 12/3 Romex, which is going to go to our light fixture downstream. Now the neutral and ground are very straightforward. I have already placed 3-wire Wago 221 lever nuts here, so I'll just complete those. Then we'll talk how to tie together the hot wires. Okay, so here is my hot wire coming in. And then this is my black hot going to the light fixture downstream. So I just want to use a 2-pin Wago to pass this hot through. Then this red hot wire I'm going to pass to the light fixture itself. This will be our switch power coming back from the light switch downstream. Now I'm just going to tuck these wires back in. Remember, with the Wagos, you can see that your wires are fully seated on the bus bar, but you also can do a pull test just to make sure. So I'll get these all tucked in and then put the actual light on. These light fixtures are nice because they have the quick disconnect that you can use to easily remove the front LED and cover to do wiring such as this or servicing the light. So now we're at the second light fixture. So we'll have 12/2 Romex going to the light switch. We have our 12/3 Romex that's coming from our first light fixture. Again, the neutral and the ground is pretty straightforward. Now we'll talk a little bit more about this one because this is no longer a neutral wire, thus the black electrical tape indicating that. But let me tie together the neutral and the ground. All right, then our hots going to the light switch are just going to be tied together. And then lastly, you'll see at the switch, we're passing it a hot wire. The switch breaks or completes the circuit, and then we're passing back the hot through the usually the white wire used for neutral, but that's why we have the black electrical tape indicating that that is actually a hot wire, and in this case it's a switched hot. So we want to connect up this light switch so it will turn on and off. And then we also want to connect up our red, which is going to our first light fixture, that will turn that one on and off. So that's it for the wiring on this end. Now we'll jump to the light switch. So now we're at the last part of the wiring before we test things out. We're going to be installing this Lutron motion detecting light switch. And one other thing I want to note before wiring this in, I did staple down my Romex away from the decking of the roof and away from the bottom of the rafters. And why is that? Well, you can see this nail right here that's coming through the roof that's holding on some OSB over the old decking for this house. If you put your Romex all the way tucked up, then when you re-roof later on, you could have nails going right through your Romex and causing issues. So make sure you're hovering and keeping about 2 inches on both sides when you're on rafters or floor joists. So the wiring for this switch is very easy. I already have the ground for the switch in a 3-wire WAGO. And then I'll go ahead and just take the ground from the Romex, the 12-2 Romex, and the ground that's grounding our electrical box, and tie those all together. And I'll tuck everything back up in there. Okay, so now we have 2 hots going to our switch, and then we have our continuous hot coming in, and then our switched hot, which is providing the on-off functionality to our 2 lights downstream. So very simple. We'll just be putting 2-wire WAGOs on these. Doing a pull test, making sure everything's secure. And now I'm going to tuck these back in and mount this light switch into the box. So that is it for this project, and overall you can see it makes a huge difference in terms of just the functionality of this storage space. Now I can bring a ton of stuff in or take a ton of stuff out. The motion detector is going to detect me, turn on the lights, and then the automatic timer is going to turn off the lights after the pre-programmed 5 minutes. Let me know if you have any comments or if you would do things a little bit differently down in the comments. I always welcome your guys' opinions. And then down in the description, you'll see all the different parts used and the tools for your reference if you're taking on a job similar to this. Now, if you want to add ceiling lights for the first time to either a living room or a bedroom, check out this video right here. I'll walk you through the complete process, which makes a massive difference to that room. So thanks for sticking it out to the end on this video, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take care.